Oh fuck, where's my Explorer hat? This is an urban exploring channel. But I like to think of this and any thing I do as exploring my mind. And certain movies, certain things are art imitating life. The movie The Fly, he makes a teleportation device, a fly's in the machine, he goes in the machine with the fly, it messes with his DNA, sci-fi movie, big deal. The part of the movie that relates to people in general, when it was made, it was the early 80s, so a lot of people saw AIDS, and I guess they made, there was major AIDS stories. It was like the coronavirus of the 80s. Only different in many, many ways. The whole world was different in the 80s. That's a whole different subject. The mentality of man was different. The internet wasn't here. They were watching VHS. Super Mario wasn't a thing yet, you know what I mean? I wasn't around for half the population wasn't born yet, Okay, anyway. It's a whole different subject of the difference between 2020, Armageddon, Chirac, and 1980. Anyway, they saw different things, there were different headlines. What most people see is what man is confronted with as he gets older, past his 20s, into his 30s, is mortality. This channel is going to be random, just like any channel I make. I'll talk about what I want to talk about. I'll reflect, try and grow as a human being, try to become a kinder gentleman, more refined as time goes on. But as time does go on, you're faced with what that man faced in the movie, and that was his mortality. And I think that's always in the back of your mind once you get into the 30s. Because in your 20s, boy, you're running and gunning. Running and gunning. Fast and loose. Swole, eating peanut butter on honey buns. Drinking drink alcohol. Your alcoholic habits change. Your desire to consume mass quantities of alcohol change. You don't want to poison yourself every fucking time you drink. You don't want to live like Chris Farley, where you're slapping the table. I was a lunatic. A drunken lunatic. You change. Nothing stays the same. Anyway, mortality, when I watched parts of that movie, and I think I think a lot of people, men I see in their 30s, and we're in a very funky, is one way to put it, time period, as they all must feel for men. I mean, they didn't have plumbing until 100 years ago, so I guess life has always been funky, only now we have electricity and the internet. What a world. What a world, this internet. They could just delete your channel. My other channel got deleted, and I'm telling you, I had 2 years worth of videos, but they're all saved for my personal consumption. And part of me was like, you know what? Your idiotic behavior has been documented enough. Maybe it's not the worst thing that some random hater got your channel deleted because he felt angry towards you, which was misplaced anger. I am not here to fight, nor anger anyone, or trigger anyone. If I do, I apologize in advance. This is Dave Welsh Project Part 2, Channel 2. This is the third video. We'll see how far this goes. I've made some friends on the internet. I mean, people say how much can you, call a person a friend in real life. So what's that say about online friends? But I'd like to think that I'm a good friend, therefore people would treat me how I would do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I'm not here to hurt nobody, man. I'm not running and gunning. I'm not leaving a trail. I'm fucking oven. I'm not trying to leave a trail of tears and disasters and wreckage and like a tornado came through a trailer park. That's the old man versus the new man. This is there's constant warfare in the world. There's also the inner war in the man. So these thoughts can be dwelled upon. You don't want to dwell too much. Dwelling, I don't think, is healthy. But the inner war is a topic you could go on for hours about. One facing his own mortality. Mortality in general. The birthing of new life. The birth process. The children you see. The new generation. All these things, I've seen life and death. And, all these things can be dissected for literally books this thick and written about. I mean, you could talk about them forever. I know this is a little out of nowhere, but there is a floating giant nuclear bomb orb that we're revolving around called the sun. I mean, some people couldn't grasp gravity. They didn't have modern telescopes. The firmament, all that. There's people that believe the earth is flat now. And I'm not trying to get into that. Because I personally might be what do they call them? A round tard? Or a flat tard? I personally think it's round because the round model is what my mind can wrap itself around. I'm burning the fucking pizza, damn it. Okay, I didn't burn the pizza, cool. Alright, we're going to go ahead and turn that off. What was it, 100 years ago? We were cooking on a fire? Chopping a fucking leg off a fucking raccoon? Putting a duck, a quail, on the Barbie? Now we got ovens. It's a lot to absorb when you make it through hell and back, and you take a step back and you look at what you've been through and what you've become, and you like to tell yourself what you become. In my case, I like to tell myself what I've become is a more thoughtful, caring human being. I can be sarcastic. I can be all the nasty things that I see in others, and I say, really, that was crude. Do you really have to make crude sexual jokes? I could do that. But I'm trying to be, like I said earlier, more refined in my thoughts. And YouTube is a crazy project. It's a project in human history, YouTube. It's just as big as television. And look at how television has changed the world. Because that's why it's a little bit shitty when they delete people. Especially smaller people who's not, gotten over the hump like Alex Jones. Tiny, small channels. If they're not promoting hate, which I'm not, then you have no basis. It's just I just prefer not to constantly lie, and I think this in a world full of lies, some truths are. And I honestly toned down my channel. I was being careful. Maybe they found some old video, but I'm pretty sure I went through all my videos and took down any video where I was being insensitive in the slightest. Nevertheless, perception of my vocabulary was deemed unsuitable, and they just came through and deleted it, but I'm not mad about that. It was just me acting like a goofy. So we're going to try to be better. We've got Blue Popsicle. I'm telling you, it's hot. This hat is like a fucking umbrella shade. Everybody, peace. You know, blessed are the peacekeepers. Peace, prosperity, God bless. Talk to me in the comments. I'm looking for maybe thinkers, not fighters. I'm tired of all this hate online. Oh, you're a fag. You're a faggot. You know, it gets old, man. It gets old quick. But everybody, God bless. Be safe.